Hey, what's up? It seems like everybody's talking about the carnivore diet these days, at least in some shape or form. I'm not sure if it's turning into a fad or what, but people are really starting to discuss the carnivore diet or all meat diets or primal diets or ancestral diets, but they're really focusing on the name the carnivore diet. And I think it's gaining a lot of traction because of people like Jordan Peterson and his daughter, people they're both using it for, well, Jordan's using it for anxiety and depression, and his daughter's using it for an autoimmune disease like rheumatoid arthritis. And they're seeing awesome results. And if you look, there's lots of people seeing awesome results, whether it's for autoimmune disease control or if they're actually using it just to drop body fat and to look better. This video is about my experience and how I decided to try the carnivore diet and how it worked out for me. My first experience with the carnivore diet came probably a few months ago. And it was actually because I was doing a ketogenic diet or a keto diet for a few years. And recently I tried to really go really low carb because I hit a weight loss plateau. And when I mean weight loss, I really mean fat loss plateau. I was just trying to lean down, go on winter vacations, so I can look good for the beach, you name it. And I was really trying to dial that down. But it seems like for me, in the last 2 years of doing a low carb diet, I went initially from high 190s and I dropped down to mid 170s. And I find from that point, it's been a little bit hard to go down. And anybody that's trying any of these low carb diets, you're gonna notice that the leaner that you get, the leaner that your body weight gets, the harder it is to lose fat. So I hit this plateau and I decided, hey, I wanna try something different. So I started looking, I was looking on forums, then finally I came on a post on Reddit. And I noticed that this girl, what she did to drop fat pretty drastically, and it actually was fat loss, is that she ate ground beef and butter for a week. So I was like, hey, you know what? I might try this. I might give it a shot. It seemed a little bit crazy, but I was like, you know what? I'm up for experimenting. Thought I'd give something a shot. I told my wife about it and she said, hey, I'll do it with you too. So we both decided to try it. So what we did is we pretty much consumed a cup of ground beef, 1 or 2 tablespoons of butter, and we did that 3 times a day. I know it sounds weird, but first day, eating it the first time wasn't too bad. By the end of the first day of all 3 servings, it felt pretty good. We actually felt really good, had a little bit of cravings, nothing crazy, but felt pretty good. By the second day, we felt awesome. We actually looked forward to eating the ground beef and the butter. So it was like every time we were gonna eat, and we ate 3 times a day, so we were always waiting for our next meal. We were looking forward to our next meal. At the end of the 5 days, it was pretty crazy because my wife weighed herself and she was down 6 pounds. 6 pounds, and we both do low carb keto diets, at least during the week. So there wasn't a lot of, that's not water loss. So she actually lost 6 pounds of fat, looked awesome. And for myself, I'm quite a bit leaner than my wife, so I only lost 4 pounds. But to me, that's awesome. I lost 4 pounds in a week, 5 days. That's never happened to me before, but I've never done that strict of a diet before, at least that extreme low carb of a diet. And you know what? The funny thing is I lost 4 pounds and I felt awesome. My second experience trying or experimenting with the carnivore diet was I do an annual gut reset diet. So for a dude like myself, I've suffered with multiple autoimmune diseases. I've healed my autoimmune diseases. I've been in remission. But to keep that up, I do like a 26-day gut reset. And what I usually do is I do a low carb diet for that 26 days with supplements in order to sort of balance my microbiome, keep things in check so I feel awesome. But this time I decided I was gonna do a little different. Rather than going like pretty low carb, I decided I would go virtually no carb and I would try the carnivore diet. I was curious, it seemed a little bit extreme. I was actually a little bit nervous because when you're used to having a little bit of carbs of some sort, at least you got something to look forward to. But this time I was pretty much doing virtually no carbs. And that had me a little bit scared, but you know what? I was down to try something different. And if I felt good for the first experiment, I thought, hey, what did I have to lose by trying something different for the second experiment? I'm a simple dude, so I pretty much ate beef, butter, bacon, and different egg variations. So I'd have an omelet or I'd have eggs over easy. And I noticed the first day I had some cravings. They weren't too extreme, but they were definitely present. I knew that I wanted to have some form of carbs. But by day 3, the cravings were gone and I felt awesome. Like, it was very surprising. No cravings, I felt awesome. And here's where I started to really notice the benefits of the carnivore diet. I had lots of energy. Energy was like bursting at the seams. It was great to have energy and not require coffee all the time. I noticed that mental clarity was unreal. I'm not sure if you guys, when you're consuming carbs, that you notice that you can get a little bit scatterbrained or things can be a little bit cloudy. But this mental clarity was unreal. I was super focused at the task at hand. And it was just, I could think of something and process it very quickly and remember things. It was an awesome feeling. I noticed that my joint pains in my body were gone. I had no joint pains. And for anybody that if you're doing a low carb diet or a ketogenic diet, you're going to notice compared to the standard American diet, your joint pains are going to be significantly reduced just by doing that. But going carnivore and getting rid of the carbohydrates for that time, I had no joint pain, nothing. It was all a zero. I felt awesome. I'm 36 years old, and to have no joint pain at all, I'm not complaining with that. That's awesome. I know people that do feel significant amount of joint pain, and for a dude like myself that was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and now feel amazing, no complaints. That's an awesome side effect or benefit to utilizing a carnivore diet. Another thing that I noticed was an increase in sex drive along with those regular morning woods. And I know it sounds funny. If there's any women, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but yeah, that's just one of the benefits that I noticed of doing this. It was like I was 18 again. It was a pretty neat side effect. And overall, I lost 6 pounds over the course of the month. And when I say 6 pounds, it was 6 pounds of fat loss. Like, it was noticeably different, especially around my stomach. And I'm a lean dude. And if I had to guess, I'm about 5'8". Now I weigh like 172 pounds, 170 pounds, give or take, depending on the day. But to lose 6 pounds and to get that much more lean, especially around my stomach, where I was very vascular around my stomach after doing the carnivore diet. So that's definitely an awesome protocol if you're looking to lose body fat specifically. Overall, I'd have to say my experience with the carnivore diet was awesome. The results were awesome. I lost 6 pounds, felt awesome, increase in sex drive. I noticed reduced body fat, zero joint pain, mental clarity, you name it. There were so many benefits to actually trying the carnivore diet for this period of time. And for anybody that's looking at trying it for a month, whether it's for an autoimmune disease or to lose body fat or to improve body fat composition, it's definitely worth a try. And I think the carnivore diet works for a variety of reasons, but it really is awesome with autoimmune disease because it reduces inflammation. It helps rebalance gut flora, and it helps increase fat soluble vitamins. And I'm going to be doing another video that's going to go into more detail, actually talking about why the carnivore diet works, how it helps people, especially with autoimmune diseases, and in its anti-inflammatory effect by removing toxins. The more time you spend looking, you're going to see a lot of people have used the carnivore diet in recent times and seen awesome results. Like I said, it can be for a variety of conditions: autoimmune diseases, anxiety, depression, arthritis, you name it, digestive issues. You know, there's so many things that people are utilizing this diet tool and getting awesome results. And I think, simply speaking, the carnivore diet works because it's a nutrient-dense elimination diet. You're getting rid of so many things, so many toxins compared to a standard American diet. You're removing the vast majority of toxins, and you stick to this really nutrient-dense diet that gives you a lot of energy and makes you feel awesome. It's satiating. You're very satisfied when you eat. And you eat and you're full. It's not like you're constantly hungry. Like on the flip side of that, when you're constantly eating carbs in, it's almost like you're never satisfied. I can never have enough pasta or never have enough bread or rice, you name it. I'm always hungry for more. So I think that even though you might look at these results with the carnivore diet and say that it makes you wonder if it works or if it doesn't work, but I want you to consider that lots of people are utilizing the carnivore diet using factory farm meat. So they're using factory farm meat, where the meat's processed on feedlots, and they're seeing awesome results. They're seeing improved autoimmune conditions, reduced inflammation, less anxiety, less depression. And that's on meat that was raised with antibiotics or in a factory farm. So can you imagine if it's still working in that condition? You imagine how much more effective it would be if you're looking at grass-fed organic beef, if you can get it or whatever. Regardless of what you can get, the diet seems to be working on both sides of that equation. You improve it if you want, but that's up to you. But it's still amazing to see that people are still seeing results. I also want to mention that the carnivore diet is a ketogenic diet. And what I mean, so is the carnivore diet keto? Of course it is. And what I mean by that is you are in a state of nutritional ketosis when you're doing the carnivore diet. And specifically if you're consuming high-fat meats. And for anybody doing the carnivore diet, or if you're new to trying something like the carnivore diet, you're not going to want to eat lean chicken all the time because it's not satiating. When you eat ground beef and things that do have higher fat content, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna feel satiated, you're gonna feel full, your energy is gonna be awesome, you're not gonna constantly be hungry. Eating an extreme lean meat all the time isn't gonna leave you feeling good. So ultimately you have to do what you think is right, but you are gonna get more benefit from high fat foods. Although I did the carnivore diet for almost a month and I did feel awesome, I did return back to my normal diet because it's what I enjoy. And what I do is I do something that I call a 5-2 split. So I do five days of low carb ketogenic diet, and then 2 days I eat whatever I want. I don't feel bad about it. I have no remorse. I just eat whatever I want. So if I want to have some carbs, if I want to have a little bit of sugar, I eat what I want. I don't feel bad about it. Am I totally putting a bunch of garbage into my body? No. But I still eat what I want. I'm not worrying about toxins and just being too overcomplicated with things. I eat what I want and I trust my body's ability because I know that if I'm doing the right thing the majority of the time, I can enjoy and indulge in some simple pleasures. But on top of that, I do intermittent fasting every day. So of all those 7 days, I'm doing intermittent fasting of 14 hours, a minimum of 14 hours, and then I eat. And if my fast lasts 20 hours, then it lasts 20 hours. But I'm constantly doing intermittent fasting of no less than 14 hours. And that's pretty much just built into my program. I've been doing that for close to 6 years. And it's just an awesome strategy that really makes it so easy. And for anybody that's trying a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet or ancestral diet or primal diet, adding intermittent fasting to the mix just makes it work so much more efficiently. It makes it really easy and super convenient to cook because whether you're doing OMAD or 1 meal a day, it really is so convenient. So if you want to cook more meals, cook more meals. But if you like eating in a 4-hour window or you like eating 1 meal a day, do it. Do what works for you, because ultimately you need to do what feels right for you. You need to be mindful of the way you feel. So I'm not telling you to do any specific diet. If you want to do the ketogenic diet or you want to do the carnivore diet, be very mindful of the way it makes you feel, the way that if you have anxiety, depression, or you feel awesome, or joint pain, the way that your skin looks. All those things are really important because ultimately the diet that you can sustain is the diet that's right for you. You got to be mindful of the way you feel. And really, it comes down to a diet that has the least amount of toxins and the most amount of nutrients that can leave you feeling awesome every day. But that's your call, guys. And I'm working on a video right now that's going to talk a lot more detail about why the carnivore diet works. And again, am I suggesting the carnivore diet forever, long term for everybody? No, that's not currently my suggestion. I think that, again, I'm going back to being mindful and doing what you think is right. I think societies have survived on a variety of diets. Do the majority of them eat meat all the time? That doesn't seem to be the case. Perhaps when it's seasonal, and that might be in more cold climates where they eat meat all the time. But again, let's go back to being mindful. We don't have to be self-righteous and put ourselves in a box saying you have to be keto or you have to be a vegan or you have to eat like this. I don't believe in drawing a box. I just be open to being mindful and shift through the phases. Because any diet can be ketogenic. You can go one way or another. You can do what you want. Be mindful of the way you feel and adjust accordingly. You guys, thanks so much for the support. I appreciate it. Genuinely, I appreciate it. If you like the video, you know what to do. hit that thumbs up button. And if you guys want to leave a comment sharing your experience using a diet like the carnivore diet to help with your autoimmune disease, fat loss, weight loss, body composition, you name it, tell me about how it worked for you. If it didn't work for you, leave a comment, join the conversation. Thanks a million for your support, guys.
Are you tired of feeling crappy? Get my free healing guide. Tips, tweaks, and hacks. Click the description for more information.